Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Passionate World Radio Network. To become successful, one must place themselves in the path of a giant. Passionate World Radio Network. And today at 11, on Lillian's Interviews, I am proud to introduce to you Jennifer Hammonds, who wrote the book with the My Hero Association from Washington, D.C., 101 plus resources for veterans, the ultimate resource guide. So good morning, Jennifer. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me today.
Well, I really feel that a book like this is very important because there's so much misinformation and content that these folks, men and women, would not be able to find unless they really start digging. And a lot of them just don't have the patience, focus, or fortitude anymore to really see what's there for them. So having a guide like this is a wonderful idea. So what got you started in the first place?
Well, for me, my background is I grew up in the Florida Keys, in Key West specifically, and unfortunately my mother was a drug addict and an alcoholic, and by the time I was a teenager, I had to find a new place to live. And I had a wonderful military family who actually took me in and adopted me, and if it weren't for them, I would never have actually graduated from high school. And I'm so grateful. I actually had the opportunity to live on base with them, which took a lot for them to do that because, again, he was risking his career to have someone who was not part of the family and then go through the process just to make sure that I would be successful in life and be able to finish high school. So later in life, I found out when I reconnected and found my father, I ended up finding that my dad's dad, my grandfather, and my great-grandfather both had 30-year careers in the Army. Both of them went through West Point, and both of them went back and taught at West Point. So ironically, I have a lot of military in my family that I didn't really get to know well. So for me, I'm extremely passionate about making sure that veterans know that there are resources out there that are available. And as you know, there's so many nonprofits that just don't really get the exposure or have a big marketing budget. So when my dream was to put together this book that would have all these resources, and again, every year we're going to have to update this. But I always wanted to make sure that we were making those known, all of these nonprofits known, as well as we put in there a section about some of the government programs that a lot of people don't know, just like the USDA does an amazing program where it trains veterans to become farmers, and then part of the program is helping them get the mortgage so that they can purchase a farm.
You also have another one called hireahero.org, in which you can, as a veteran, go to them and they will help you prepare yourself and your resume and everything that goes along with that to go out into the world and find yourself a job.
Absolutely. Hire a Hero is another one of those organizations that's really dedicated to, again, transitioning, helping with the transition, because the language in the military and even what your job description is completely changes as you go into the civilian world. And sometimes that becomes very confusing to make sure that that military person, when they transition out, they realize how extremely valuable what they have learned and what their training has done. But if you're not speaking the same language, you could be speaking German and French, and two people won't communicate. So you need to be able to understand, first of all, how do you write that resume that gets people to go, wow, this person has so much experience and has the skills that we need, and it would be a huge asset to our corporation. And as you know, there's some corporations that are really looking for military, but there are a lot of other corporations that don't realize how valuable it would be to have veterans as part of their company. So Hire a Hero does a lot of just fabulous stuff to really help people understand what are the resources out there. And also just, you know, it's one of the ones where Hire a Hero and a Hero Foundation, which a Hero Foundation is who partnered with me on putting together this book. And this book is just a resource guide for people. And I say just in the fact that it's not like we wrote a whole bunch of, editorials. What we did is we really put resources in there with organizations that are actually active right now. So it's very, very valuable for people. And one of the cool stories I had recently is somebody from one of my Bible studies. He is a retired Marine, and he took it home, took the book home to his wife, and then his wife went through and found 2 resources. He's in his 70s, found 2 resources they had no idea that they qualified for, and it just absolutely blew his mind. He said, wow, it's amazing. If you don't know the resources there, you just completely miss it.
And it's important that you understand that when you go through this guide, not only will they tell you who they are, what they do, but they'll give you their mission statement. So, Hire Heroes USA empowers U.S. military members, veterans, and spouses to succeed in the civilian workforce. Very succinct. Then they give you your full contact information, a website, registration, email, and a phone number. And, folks, this is exactly what you want. But in addition to that, they provide you with a page where you can put your notes down right underneath the resource you're using, which was an excellent idea. That way you won't have sticky notes all over your house.
Exactly. It's so important to be able to make notes and see this is an organization that would be good for this person, this is an organization that would be good for that person, because there's so many different things, and it's broken up into topics, whether you want to be an entrepreneur, whether you might be interested in some service on wellness, whether you're interested in transitional services, but you need to be able to write those notes. If you can't write those notes, you might forget about an organization or not take advantage of it or not share it with somebody who might really, really be able to have those resources and need those resources, whatever that is.
And not only that, it helps you focus on what's going to be important for you. And what's important for you may not be always important for another veteran down the street. And you have to also recognize that not all veterans are in the same level of readiness to go and perhaps admit to themselves that they need help or they don't know how to do this. And a lot of them just may be angry at the world. But if you have a positive message from whatever organization you have used, you can pass it along to them to give them purpose, to give them hope, and to make them recognize that there are organizations out there that are waiting for them to give them a call so they can help you get where you need to be. And that's a very, very important mission statement in of itself.
Well, and thank you so much for saying that, because like one of the organizations that we have in here is called Luke's Wings. And Luke's Wings is their mission. I love their mission. Their mission, they literally go and get tickets, travel tickets, plane tickets, whatever they need to get the family members to wherever the veteran is. If the veteran is in a hospital, whether they're just, there for a long stay or, unfortunately, if they're in hospice. This is a one way where they're paying the expenses to make sure the family members get to be there with the veteran. And again, that so often is overlooked, that the family members, it can be very taxing as far as expensive for them to be there to support the veteran, which again helps the healing process. And that's what this, and again, this is a smaller nonprofit, Luke's Wings. And these are nonprofits all over the United States. And that was one of the purposes for putting together the book, was to make sure that people know about these amazing organizations, no matter how small they are, or if they're huge ones. We wanted to make sure you kind of have little ones, you have big ones, and all sorts of different topics, so that we're really finding those niches. And again, like you just said, so important that people realize that there are so many people that care. There are so many people that want to lend a helping hand. It's just a matter of connecting those veterans with the people that are available and interested in that specific area that they need help with.
Absolutely. So even though there are a lot of homeless veterans, you don't need to be homeless. Now that you have a guide that you can get even before you are discharged from the military, and you can go through it perhaps with a counselor who's been assigned to you. If you're addicted to painkillers or other type of drugs, if you have a drinking problem, or maybe you're depressed for some reason, these are organizations that are been put together for you, or someone who you love can help you find the necessary help almost immediately. But you have to remember that whatever state or stage that you're in, you got there slowly. So it's going to take time for you to get better, or for you to pull yourself together, or for you to get what you really want, because good things come to those who have the patience to pursue them and then implement them.
Absolutely. And always be gentle with yourself. Whatever situation you're in right now can always change. Sometimes you feel like there is no way out, but there is always a way out. And be gentle with yourself. With wherever you are, the next step is the next step. And, whatever that step is for you, just take it. And there's government resources, too. We put a whole section in here for government resources. And one of them, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this, the HUD VASH vouchers, and that's also for housing assistance from the government for veterans. And there's all sorts of programs also for people who are real estate developers. And if you wanted to create an apartment building or a condo building that was specialty to helping veterans, there's money available for the government for that as well, either through the VA or through HUD. There's so many programs out there. So whatever your dream is, also, if you have a dream to help veterans, there's so many different ways. If you want to contribute with your skills on creating websites, you can volunteer for one of the nonprofits. Also, I wanted to mention, if anyone has ideas of nonprofits that they think should be in the book for our next version, please email me those. And you can do that at jenniferhrealty@gmail.com. So Jennifer with two N's, Jennifer, H for Hammond, and then Realty, REALTY @gmail.com. Very interested in anybody who has ideas of nonprofits that they think definitely are worthy and should be in the book. We're always interested in making sure that we have all those resources available, and in a new unit at a time each year, so that we have the ones that are active and that are helping. And we love the stories of how the book has helped. So please share those stories with us as well.
Absolutely. So, Jennifer, why don't you tell everybody where you are located on the World Wide Web? Sponsor who helped you get the book out and to write the book and market the book. Tell everybody where you can find them as well, and any other advice or information that you would like to share with your audience.
Well, thank you so much. So the way you can follow us, you can follow us on social media, which is Jennifer H. Realty. So my Facebook, Twitter, all of that is Jennifer, and then H for Hammond Realty. So Jennifer H. Realty is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of those things. And then the other thing is we went ahead, and my partners who helped me with this was A Hero Foundation. So you can go to aherofoundation.org, and they also have an enormous amount of resources up there for veterans as well. And then if you go to Amazon.com, that's where you can purchase the book. And we love it when you can buy. We've had a few sponsors come in and buy in bulk and give them out. We've also been asked to get one of these books in every single veterans hospital. So if you know anyone who would consider even just doing, the local hospitals in their area, or they would, if you know a corporation that'd be willing to buy 100 books so that we can donate them, that is a process that we're trying to get the books in every single veterans hospital. So if a veteran is actually sitting there in the hospital while they're getting well and they want to read this book, we want to make sure that that's in every single veterans hospital. So, and again, if they want to reach me, my Gmail is jenniferhrealty@gmail.com. So we try to keep that all consistent. jenniferhrealty@gmail.com. And I love helping people. You can also hear me on Sirius XM. I love to do my show and anything we can do to end homelessness for veterans. I'm extremely passionate about doing it. I know we can do it. We just all need to work together. And I thank you so much for helping veterans. Everything that you do, Lillian, I'm so impressed with what you do. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. And the next time you go to thank a veteran or veterans, make sure you have plenty of books of the Ultimate Veterans Resource Guide. So instead of just thanking them with words, you can place this resource book into their hands and thank them and bid them to read it because it will help them. And what a better way than to thank the veterans than to give them this Ultimate Veterans Resource Guide. And if you want to hear this interview all over again with Jennifer Hammond, you can go over to https://passionateworldradionetwork.com, googleplus.com, linkedin.com/PWR Network, facebook.com/PWR Network LLC, and twitter.com/PathsOfGiants. And before you go away and stray, Hazlitt had this to say about conversation. Silence is one great art of conversation. Thank you all very much for listening. And remember, please keep listening on our 24/7 In the Clouds programming.